There's been lots of things happening in the world of sports in the month of December. The NHL season is in full swing. Jaden Daniels was announced as the Heisman winner in college football. The NBA just wrapped up their first ever in-season tournament with the Lakers coming out on top, and the NFL has entered the home stretch of their regular season. But if you're only a fan of baseball, then you don't care about any of those things, and you are most likely refreshing Twitter every 5 minutes, hoping to see any news regarding big-name free agents, specifically Shohei Ohtani. Well, luckily, after months of speculating where Shohei was going to go and how much he was going to make, we finally got our answer. Because on December 9th, 2023, a date that will go down in sports history, Ohtani announced on Instagram that he was signing with the Los Angeles Dodgers on a 10-year contract worth $700 million. The largest contract signed by any player in any sport ever. It's not often that in the middle of December, baseball is the sport dominating the headlines. In this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about Shohei Ohtani signing with LA and how it changes the entire landscape of sports as we know it. Before I get into it, welcome to the War Room. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you're new. I'm trying to hit 40K before the new year. Let's get straight to it. So first things first, $700 million is a lot of money. I'm not just going to skip over that like it's some casual thing. He surpassed Lionel Messi for the largest deal ever signed by an athlete. Just from this contract alone, not even including money he's made from past deals or endorsements, Ohtani is now more valuable than 22 out of the 28 Major League Soccer franchises. The Arizona Coyotes, who are currently in their 44th season in the NHL, are worth a total of $675 million, making them the only Big Four sports team worth less money than this guy. But it's not just the MLS and NHL franchises Ohtani can flex on, it's some MLB owners as well, because this 10-year deal gives Shohei a higher net worth than the owners of the Colorado Rockies, Milwaukee Brewers, Miami Marlins, and Cincinnati Reds. Again, this is only considering the 10-year contract he just signed. It doesn't even include the $42 million he's made since 2018 with the Angels, the millions he made playing in Japan before that, and the insane amount of money he'll be making from endorsement deals, jersey sales, and things of that nature. When it's all said and done, there's a very good chance that Shohei Ohtani will be the first baseball player ever to become a billionaire. During the 2023 season, in the middle of his second MVP campaign, people began speculating how much Shohei would get in free agency. The general consensus amongst pretty much everyone was that he could get as much as $600 million, basically $300 mil as a hitter and $300 mil as a pitcher, simple enough. However, this past September, it was announced that he would need elbow surgery that will keep him off the mound until 2025, though he is still available to hit in 2024. This was pretty devastating news because everyone was on the edge of their seats just waiting to see how much he was going to make, and a serious elbow injury like the one he's dealing with has the power to knock off as much as $100 million from his contract. So you can imagine just how insane it was when the Dodgers not only didn't knock off any money, but gave him about $100 million more than he was expected to get. Some fans claim that this massive deal would come back to bite LA, with a few even predicting it will go down as one of the worst deals in MLB history. But this couldn't be further from the truth. As we know, Major League Baseball is a business. These owners aren't going to spend big money unless they know for a fact they will make it back. And the reality of this situation is that the name, image, and likeness of Shohei Ohtani, who came over from Japan, became a two-time MVP, and is already arguably the greatest baseball player ever, is worth billions. With all the Japanese advertisements that will begin to fill Dodger Stadium and the millions of Asian fans buying tickets, merchandise, and watching the games on TV, the Dodgers essentially bought the entire Asian baseball market for just $700 million. That is an absolute bargain. All of those things on top of the fact that they were always one of the best teams in baseball and they already have other superstars with Clayton Kershaw, Freddie Freeman, and Mookie Betts. Don't be surprised if the Dodgers not only break the Yankees' 25-year streak of being the most valuable team in baseball, but they catapult themselves into the conversation for the most valuable franchise in US sports over the next decade. Also, contrary to popular belief, this signing is actually great for baseball. If you look at some of the most popular teams ever, the New England Patriots with Tom Brady, the Dynasty Warriors, or even the Yankees in the late 90s, they all have one thing in common, and that is whether you love them or hate them, they get people to watch. You might hate the Dodgers with every fiber of your being, hoping nothing but terrible things happen to their franchise. But guess what? When they're playing in the big games in October, you're going to be glued to your TV rooting against them. And teams that have that effect on millions of fans are great for the game. But the insanity of this contract doesn't end there, because on Monday, there was even more news that stunned the baseball world. It was announced that $680 million out of the $700 million in Shohei's contract is deferred. In other words, instead of him making $70 million a year for the next decade, Ohtani is making just $2 million each year from 2024 to 2033. Then from 2034 to 2043, he will be making $68 million per year. So despite being one of the greatest players ever, there are 16 players on the Dodgers roster alone making more money than Shohei Ohtani will in 2024. This allows the franchise to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on other free agents for the next decade. As illegal as this seems, it's completely allowed. As the rules state, quote, "There shall be no limitations on either the amount of deferred compensation or the percentage of total compensation attributable to deferred compensation for which a uniform player's contract may provide," which is basically a fancy way of saying the Dodgers legally finessed the entire league. Here's a short list of players who will be making more money than Shohei Ohtani in 2024, including Chris Davis, who hasn't played since 2020, and the Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr., who hasn't played since 2010. But that's enough about money. What else is a part of this Ohtani ripple effect? For starters, more Japanese players are going to try to get the hell out of Japan. Now, Shohei Ohtani was by no means the trailblazer of players coming over from Japan and becoming MLB stars. I think it's fair to credit Ichiro Suzuki as the first guy to really prove that to be possible, but Ohtani should certainly get some credit for the new massive wave of Japanese players that are going to try to make it to America. Don't think star players in Asia, or any other part of the world for that matter, didn't witness what Shohei Ohtani just did. He basically used the NPB as his own personal development league until he felt like he was ready to leave and make the big bucks in America. And you better believe the next generation is trying to follow in his footsteps. While guys like Masataka Yoshida got signed last year, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto is the big star on the market as I currently make this video, one piece of news that I felt flew under the radar this past weekend was Roki Sasaki. Sasaki is a 22-year-old pitcher in Japan that is already a superstar, as you can see by his numbers. He'll very likely be posted by his team in the future, so he can come over to the US in a few years. However, in very shocking news to Japanese baseball fans everywhere, Sasaki told his club that he wanted to be posted right now so he can start the 2024 season with an MLB club. This caught his team by surprise and they declined his request. Although it'll be at least another year before Sasaki is in the show, there's something to be said about his request to be posted. Young star players in Japan like him aren't going to want to wait around and risk an injury that costs them hundreds of millions of dollars. I think this new wave of players wanting out of the NPB early in their careers is going to become very common, and they have Shohei Ohtani to thank for that. I can't speak for Japanese baseball fans, but I would imagine this is bittersweet. The quality of Nippon professional baseball is going to tank, and they'll only get to see their star players for 3 or 4 years max before they want to leave, because again, they're just using it as a personal minor league system. But also, Japanese fans are known to take tons of pride in their boys becoming MLB stars, so it does simultaneously put their league on the map and give them an even more respected baseball culture than it already is. So this is something to keep an eye out for as the years go on. And finally, I think Shohei has opened the door for more two-way players in the future. He's living proof that being an elite hitter and pitcher at the same time is actually not impossible. I'm not saying in 20 years there's going to be 50 Shohei Ohtani type talents running around, but the two-way player will without a doubt become way more common. These next 10 years of Shohei Ohtani adding to his legacy in Dodger Blue will be incredibly fun to watch, as one of the greatest ever will finally be on the biggest stage come October in pursuit of his first career ring. Ever since he came to MLB in 2018, he's completely changed how people see the game of baseball, and 5 years later in 2023, he's still doing things we've literally never seen before and might not ever see again. How many rings do you think Shohei will win with his new LA team? Let me know in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like I said, I'm trying to hit 40K by 2024, so please consider helping me out. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.